Are you fighting for your life in a house that somehow never has enough storage but always has enough laundry? This episode is sponsored by the M Group Real Estate. Whether you're buying your first home, need more space for your growing family, or you're just dreaming about a kitchen you can emotionally recover in, the M Group understands that real life doesn't pause while you're house hunting. They're in the same season of messy motherhood too, balancing kids, schedules, activities, laundry piles, and all the everyday chaos. So they genuinely understand what families need in a home beyond just what looks good online. What really sets the M Group apart is the level of professionalism and care they bring to their clients. Their team is highly educated, community-minded, and deeply invested in the people they work with. They're actively involved in volunteering and giving back while also bringing strong industry knowledge and experience to every step of the process. They make real estate feel approachable, personable, and way less overwhelming. Just real people helping real Saskatchewan families navigate big life changes with confidence. So if moving has been on your mind lately, connect with the M Group and start the conversation. You can find them at the M Group on Instagram or themgroup.ca. Hey gorgeous girlies, how we doing today? Welcome back to another episode of Real Lives of Sask Wives. Dare you to try saying that 5 times fast. It's a lot harder than you'd think. Today's episode is a fun one. It's a light one. We are diving into beauty, lifestyle, and breaking all of the so-called rules. I'm joined by Leah Crockford. She is a permanent makeup artist and the girl behind the brows, lips, and confidence boost we all secretly want. We chat about everything from the world of permanent makeup and the craziest client questions to her very intentional, non-traditional lifestyle. Choosing not to get married, not to have kids, and building a life that feels right for her instead of following what society expects. Plus, naturally, we get into podcast obsessions and all the random fun in between. This conversation was really fun and really light and exactly what I needed. And I know you're going to love Leah as much as I do. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to the podcast, Leah. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So how do we know each other? What's your version of, do you remember when we met? Because I remember.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. I've got the memory of
I
an
feel
elephant.
like, okay, well, we obviously know each other through Megan.
Yes.
I don't know if I remember like the exact time we met because there's always so many people at Wingate parties that it's kind of hard to keep track sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, what was the specific day?
I'll tell you, sweetie.
Okay.
So it was like 2020, before COVID, and we were in that splurge group. And
was that when I met you?
Yeah. And Maddie was hosting. I'm just name dropping everyone that's ever been on this podcast. Maddie was hosting.
Yeah.
And that was the official time that I met you, was at her house for Splurge Club. And you were like, I do permanent makeup. And I remember you were talking about Botox and filler and how you loved and how you said there's such a stigma around Botox and filler because a lot of people, you can't even tell that they have it.
Yeah.
But then you see the people who are like the extremists in it.
Yes.
And I remember you saying, I have my lips done and you can't even tell. And I remember sitting there and I was quiet at this thing. And I'm like, you can't tell that she has her lips done. That is amazing. So that was my first. And then I came to you for my... Did I get nano brows?
Yeah.
Nano brows, when was that? September.
Yeah.
On my maternity leave.
Yeah.
So that's when I was reflecting. I'm like, where does it go from? Yeah. So we've been at like things together for a number of years, really.
Yeah. But I feel like not a ton because... I don't know. You were like pregnant for a while. Like I remember being like, "Where's Jordan?" at like certain things.
Oh,
and
she had a baby again. She's locked away for a year. She doesn't come out.
Yeah,
but
totally.
also such a strange fact that your parents live 1, 2, 3, 4 doors down.
Yeah, like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
1,
so
2,
you
3,
grew
4,
up
5.
in the neighborhood that I'm now raising my kids in, which is kind of cool.
It is.
Yeah,
it is really cool. I love this neighborhood.
Yeah, me
it
too.
It is
good.
a nice
Did
neighborhood.
you look at buying over here when you guys were looking?
I knew that this area was probably going to be a little bit out of our price range because it's such a sought after area. Like I feel like
if it is in your price range, it's an absolute dump and you have to flip the whole thing, which is just like an exhausting thing to sign up for.
I think I like lightly looked, but then I was like, and also the houses over here are like quite a bit bigger than what we would need. I mean, my parents were like, do you want to buy our house? And I was no, I lived in that house for 30 years. I don't want to live there anymore.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, if you gave me a deal, maybe.
Yeah, I was more so just like, no, I don't want to live in this house. I want to do something else, like live somewhere else.
A little bit more room to grow. Okay, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So I think like every kid when I was like a child wanted, a million things. Definitely marine biologist was in there. Who didn't want to be a marine biologist?
Actually, yeah.
And then as I got older and I realized that I was, I don't know, good at arguing and I was always like more mature, I definitely wanted to be a lawyer.
Same.
And now I'm like, absolutely not. I literally hate anything to do with like legal jargon or like even if you're reading like anything from like the city or the government, I'm like, what is this even saying? Even though I am good at English, I'm like, this just doesn't compute in my brain and there's no way I could ever be a lawyer. And then when I went to high school, it was mostly just wanted to be a hairstylist. Actually, I fully was like, I'm going to be a hairstylist. I either did or didn't take certain courses in high school because I was like, well, no, I don't need that course. Like, I don't need to take physics. I'm going to be a hairstylist. And then after, later on when I was like, well, maybe I'm not going to be a hairstylist, I was like, probably got to take in more courses and really set myself up for maybe a different career. But I definitely was always really into hair and beauty in general. So I was kind of like testing the waters with that realm, I guess. I mean, not that I really did anything. I did my friend's hair.
Reflecting too, though, I think of all of the people that I've had on here, I've had in my life that wanted to be a hairstylist as a kid or a young adult. They were always very creative. I think that's like the main gateway into the creative pathways because you just, I don't know, it's a very common job maybe. Yeah. That it's like, oh, that's a job where I can be creative. And so you kind of
and like not have to sit at a desk because when you're younger too, like, I mean, now there's so many jobs that you don't even know are jobs. But at the time, that's just one that seems so obvious that you don't have to like sit at a desk. Yeah. It's like, what's a creative job I can do where I don't have to be in an office or whatever? It's like, oh, hairstylist.
So where did you go when you were done high school? What'd you do?
When I was done high school, I just stayed here. I did travel a little bit. Like me and a couple of my friends lived in Mexico for a couple months when we were like 19, fun. I want to say.
Where in Mexico?
In Bucerias.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really great. It was like the best experience ever. And then I came back here and honestly just bummed around until I was like 25. Mm-hmm. And then I moved to Vancouver for like a year or so, which is where I started doing all of this stuff.
How did it come across your desk in Vancouver, or did it?
So it was actually before I moved. My sister lived in Vancouver, as well as a friend of mine lived in Vancouver for quite a while. Me and her used to work together at a clothing store here, and she actually called me before I was moving. She knew that I was moving, and she called me and she was like, "Hey, I just want to run something by you. I need to take on an employee." She's like, as you know, I do eyelash extensions. And she's like, my business is growing and I want to like grow my business. And I know that you're moving here and I know you and I trust you. I know your work ethic, all that jazz. So she was like, would you want to try doing eyelash extensions? Which I didn't have a job lined up when I was moving there.
Wow, look at you, free spirit flowing.
Yeah, I just saved some money and I was like, we're just going to go where the wind takes us, really. I mean, worst comes to worst, it's like you can always get a serving job mostly. So it's like, whatever, that's always a backup plan. But yeah, obviously I had never thought about it. And I was like, I mean, I guess I can come try, but like if I suck at it, don't be mad at me if you like put the time into training me and then I'm just like terrible at it. Like, But yeah, so like after probably a month, I kind of bummed around in Vancouver for a little bit. And then she did train me and I apprenticed under her and I was naturally good at it. I picked it up really quickly. And then honestly, it went from me taking like 1 or 2 of her clients a week to all of a sudden it was like 2 a day. And then it was like 6 a day. And then it was like 8 a day.
How's your eyeballs when you're doing that many sets of, like, they're very small, the eyelashes?
Yeah, you go cross-eyed after a little while. Like it's a lot of like hyper focusing with your eyes. I would say by the end of the day, sometimes I'm like, wow, I feel like I like can't see anymore. You just got to like look away and do some eye exercises. But so then we grew her business quite a lot. To the point where we were both doing like full days all day every day. I was probably working like 6 days a week lashing. Yeah, people are always like, oh my god, how was Vancouver? Like, did you like living there? I'm like, honestly, I was just locked in a room lashing the whole time. Just grinding the whole time. What year is this? 2014. Okay. I moved there and then was there for like a year and a half or so. And then in 2015 I moved back here.
How come?
And started my business. Well, I don't like to say it was because of Sean, but we were doing long distance. We started dating after I had left because...
Oh.
Yeah. So like before I moved, he was like, I don't want to date. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go get on with my life and I'm going to like move to Vancouver. And then we like kind of lost touch for a bit. And then and then we started talking again. And then he basically was just like, okay, now that you've left, turns out I love you and I want to be together. And I was like, okay, great. So then we did long distance for like a year or so. And I was like, okay, well, this is getting old. And at the same time, it was that. And then also like all of my friends were buying houses and getting married. And I just felt like I wanted to come back. I felt like I was missing a lot of that. And it was just a lot of grinding in Vancouver, which was great. And like my sister's there and I had friends there and stuff like that. But it's very different there because it's not as compact. It's not as convenient to get around and hang out with friends and stuff like that. So it's just like a different lifestyle. And I just felt like it was the right move for me to come back here. And it turns out it was.
The plan was always come back, start my own thing here?
No. I was moving to Vancouver indefinitely. Like I was like, I want to get out of Saskatoon. I hate it here. I'm out.
Never coming back.
Not never, but I was like, I don't know. I don't like it here anymore. So I was like, I don't see myself coming back. And then I don't know. Sometimes it just takes moving away to appreciate what you have. And also I do feel like it wasn't like the city necessarily that was in a bad place. I mean, it was. I feel like when I came back, I feel like the city did get a lot better, but it was also just me that had changed a lot and grown a lot and figured my stuff out, that it doesn't really matter where you are. It's like the people and what you're doing and like more, internally what's happening rather than externally, I would say.
So we made the choice to come back to not for a boy, but for a business.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was too, like, obviously I was working for a friend. And so if I was going to branch out there, I would kind of be stepping on her toes.
Right.
And then because I would be like a direct competitor. But I was like, well, if I move back to Saskatoon, that's not really the case. And I felt more free to like do that. But yeah, that was like part of the reason for sure.
So 2015?
Yeah. So August of 2015, I moved back and I started my business September 1st, 2015.
Where are you working? Did you like rent a space or were you working out of like what you were renting for your house? Or?
Well, so I moved back in with my parents when I moved back here.
Okay.
For a bit. And then I moved in with Sean. Like, I think I was living with my parents for like a year though.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I was mostly at Sean's house all the time, but he was like, we weren't totally ready to live together because we went from doing long distance to being in the same city.
Yeah.
I didn't want to just like jump into moving in together. So I was living with my parents and I think I lashed out of there for like maybe a couple weeks while I was just getting everything set up for my business, like all the other stuff, all the back end stuff that you have to do. And then I started renting out of a hair salon called Frescabella that is no longer, but it was on 2nd Avenue. I was just renting an aesthetics room from them. And I did that there for 6.5 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do you decide you want to expand into permanent makeup?
So that was actually when I was in Vancouver.
Oh,
so yeah, when I was in Vancouver, I was like doing eyelash extensions and then I decided that I wanted to do nails. So I went to like a very specialty nail art school in Vancouver. And I took a nail course, started doing nails, but I wasn't doing like a ton of nails in Vancouver because I just was so busy with lashes all the time. And then my sister actually was gonna get her eyebrows microbladed. And from what I had seen being a lash artist on a lot of clients was like old permanent makeup, like solid stuff that had either gone like blue or red or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, don't get your eyebrows tattooed. It's going to look so bad later. And she was like, no, there's this new thing. It's called microblading and it's totally different. And I was like, what? And that really intrigued me. And then the woman who was going to be doing her eyebrows, her name's Shaughnessy, and she owns Studio Sashiko, I think it's called, in Vancouver. She actually came in for some lashes. And so I was kind of picking her brain about like where she went to school. And I was like, I think I'm really interested in doing that because I've always been really obsessed with people's eyebrows. Like ask any of my friends. I was the one doing their hair and like tweezing and shaping their eyebrows, like all throughout high school and stuff when we were younger.
Okay.
And then, so she told me where she went to school and I was like, I think I'm going to do it. I was kind of looking up courses and stuff. And that was really honestly the only one that was there at the time. And so I went there and did that. And then, so I kind of had all of that to bring back to Saskatoon to start my business. So immediately I was like doing lashes, obviously were the number one.
Not a lot of big in 2015, the lashes. They still are, but like I feel like that was when it really
everyone
took off here.
I was like, oh wow, I really came back and started my business at a very opportunistic time.
Yeah.
Especially with microblading too. Everyone immediately was like, I want lashes, I want microblading. Nails was always kind of like and then I dropped nails like, I don't know, 4 or so years like into my career. I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Do you do your own still? Or do you get them done?
Sometimes I do them, and then if I'm lazy, I just go somewhere and I'm like,
sometimes it's nice to just not think and get your nails done.
Yeah, I'm definitely pedicure. Like obviously I'm going to go get a pedicure, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, just do my nails too. I just don't feel like having to do them this month.
Explain to me like how the permanent makeup training works. Do you go in and you just do a course on eyebrows? Do you have to do like an all-encompassing off the start because it's a tattoo gun? Like what's going on?
No, so unfortunately, with permanent makeup tattooing and lash extensions and a lot of aesthetics, there aren't any regulations.
Really?
Especially for education. There's basically like you can just, if you think about regular tattooing, there isn't, I think now there's things called tattoo schools, but it's kind of silly. You just always would apprentice under somebody. Yes. A lot of it's like self-taught and apprenticing, but no, for permanent makeup, I took a full permanent makeup course at BioTouch Canada, which is in Vancouver. So it was learning how to microblade, shade eyebrows, shade lips, and do eyeliner. Okay. So it was a week-long course, which honestly isn't very long if you think about it.
No.
You start tattooing people on like day 2, but you have, there's like the woman who is my teacher. She's also a doctor. So yeah, there was like that happening there. And then, so you can do that. You can take that route, but you can also just take, a 1-day microblading course, 2-day microblading course and learn how to microblade, which is why it exploded. Everybody started doing that, taking a small course and thinking that it was going to be a career for them when it's so much more difficult than that. It takes so much experience to like actually do it properly.
Yeah.
Even my course could have been way more extensive. Like obviously they did go through the basics and teach you everything really well, but you're practicing on fake skin and then you're practicing on like one person's skin. Well, as it turns out, everyone's skin is different. So it takes a lot of experience to go through so many people to really understand skin.
Yeah, there's so many variables to people's skin.
So many variables. Yeah.
Interesting.
Definitely. And then as far as like the rest of courses go, like obviously I still keep up with courses for different techniques. Like different techniques or special things of certain techniques are always coming out. So you can just take like 1 or 2 day courses in person or online to learn different techniques. But the other thing is because there's no regulations, anyone can teach courses. I could teach courses if I felt like it, which I have over 10 years of experience. So like I wouldn't be the worst person to teach a course.
Yeah.
However, I still don't think that even though I've been doing it for so long and I've done hundreds and hundreds of brows, you still run into problems daily. But I mean, I guess having the experience, you can push through that problem and navigate it properly.
Right.
But yeah, I guess it is a little bit frustrating because anybody can take a course, anybody can teach a course, you get a certificate, but that means literally nothing.
Yeah.
And it might mean something to an unknowing client who doesn't know any better that you have a certification, but you might not have any experience. You might have some photos. Are they even your photo? I don't know. Like,
Are
there's
they
just
AI?
yeah, exactly. So it's like, who really knows? But yeah, I mean, there are courses that you can just take.
Refresh my memory, but when I got microblading done, I think it was like 2014 or 2015 maybe. And I remember it being like a blade dipped in some ink and then scratched on my, for lack of better terminology, and scratched onto my skin. Was that what you learned, or did you have an actual like tattoo gun for microblading?
Microblading is never with a machine.
Okay.
It is. So
Okay.
it's not technically a blade. It's a row of needles that act as a blade.
Okay.
But yeah, you dip the blade into the pigment and then you scrape it into the skin.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Which when you're scraping it into the skin, like when you're using a machine, the ink is going to flow into the skin. Like, it has to be in the exact right layer of skin for the ink to flow into the skin properly.
Got you.
So your needle has to be a certain depth. So it's not easier. Obviously, machine work is more difficult than microblading, but it's easier to do microblading wrong, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that
because
does make sense.
you're just gauging the pressure, and you could be going way too light. You could be going way too deep.
Yeah.
Like, you do still, I mean, it's obviously similar to using a machine where you have to see what your stroke is doing and how your pigment is in the skin, kind of testing it. But I only say that because there was so many people doing microblading, doing it extremely wrong. Honestly, when I first started, I was probably going too deep because you're going too light at first. And you're like, well, this isn't staying because it's only going into the epidermal layer, which exfoliates off. And then you're like, okay, well, I'll go deeper. And then, I don't know, it's just easy to go too deep. So that's where all of the bad fading, the scarring, all of that stuff like comes into play.
Well, you're right. It was like a big boom in eyebrows for a while there, and everybody got their courses. And then everybody kind of went, oh, this microblading's kind of not great because XYZ. And it's like, well, who did you go to and what were they doing?
Yeah.
And
or even
there's
as
so
an
much more to
artist,
it.
obviously, like there was times where I was like, this is really frustrating. Like, why is the ink fading this way? Why is this healing like this? Like, it's so much trial and error as well. But you just, I mean, if you're passionate about it, you just got to stick with it and continue educating yourself. That's like the more important thing to do.
So when does the nano come into play for you?
I started doing nano brows probably in 2017 or 18, 2 or 3 years after I had started my business. I started doing nano brows. And
can you explain what those are for people that don't know?
Yes. Nano brows are very similar to microblading, where it still looks like hair strokes tattooed into the skin. However, it's done with a machine, a needle on a machine, instead of a manual blade where you dip into the ink. So generally what I tell people is, because it's going into the machine is doing more of the work. It's implanting the pigment into your skin more concentrated and precisely with every stroke. Whereas microblading, because you're just dipping and scraping and then kind of like slathering over some ink like into those cuts, it's just not precise. It's a lot more finicky of a process.
Right.
It's a lot more, because you're cutting, technically there's a lot more scabbing and peeling, which leaves more room for patchiness when it's healing, and it's more of a finicky healing process. So that's why nano brows are my number one service.
Yeah. Do people microblade really anymore? Do they request it very often?
Not very often. I would say like, I don't know, 1 in 25 people maybe are like, I think I want microblading. And honestly, I think a lot of the time it's just because it's a cheaper service than the nano brows are.
Yeah.
But generally people, I would say, look upon my expertise at a consultation, and they're like, what would you suggest? And generally I'm like, nano brows are just better, like overall for most people's skin. So unless you've got the perfect skin for microblading, I'm gonna say nano brows pretty much every time.
Okay. What's the difference between permanent makeup and just a regular tattoo?
So how deep you're going into the skin, I would say slightly, and then also the pigments. Okay. So with regular tattoos, you're going into the skin, you're still all of it. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand, is a tattoo has to be in the dermal layer of your skin. If it's above it, it's going to exfoliate off. If it's below it, it's going to blow out and it's going to go into your lymphatic system, and it's going to be like a huge mess and get into your subcutaneous fat tissue. So it can't be in that layer and it can't be in the layer above. It has to be in the dermal layer.
Okay.
With permanent makeup though, we aim to go in like the top part of your dermal layer. So just like a little bit more shallow than a regular tattoo. And then with regular tattoos, the inks are just different. They are more pigmented. They've got more like titanium dioxide and stuff in there that's going to just make them more pigmented essentially, because they would, if you tattooed your eyebrows with regular tattoo ink, it would look quite harsh. Yes. So permanent makeup pigments are, I guess, like, I don't want to say diluted, but they are slightly with like just different. They just have a different composition. So they're meant to fade.
Yes.
In case you want to change the style of stuff as well. Like,
yeah, trends change, yes, especially in the eyebrows.
Trends do change. So yeah, they're just like a little bit different pigments that are meant to be softer when they heal. Because if you think about a tattoo, when you get a tattoo, yeah, it looks really bright and fresh when it's first done. Mm-hmm. Peels, it pretty much looks the same though. Like it might be like a little bit more dull, obviously, because that top layer of your skin is going to regenerate on top. Mm-hmm. With permanent makeup pigments, they fade. I mean, lips, your lip tissue is totally different, but lips fade up to 50%.
Oh.
Brows fade, yeah, like 15 to 30%. Like they're quite a bit softer when they're healed, as you know, than when they're fresh.
I liked, you posted not too long ago the timeline of you doing your own lips.
Yeah.
And how different the shade, I'm sure a man would look at it and be like, they all look the same to me. But like for a woman, you look at it and I was like, wow, like your lips did change to so many different colors throughout the healing of that.
Totally. Lips are so weird, such a weird healing process. And they look insane when they're freshly done. I think that's the thing too.
Yeah,
they
did. They were so bright when you posted.
every time when I'm done tattooing someone's lips, I'm like, just so you know, and I warn them beforehand. I'm like, just so you know, they're gonna look crazy, basically, and they're not gonna be the color that we just tattooed. They're gonna look red. They're gonna look purple. They're gonna whatever. I'm like, don't be alarmed. It's not gonna look like that. And people often will still freak out and be like, okay, and I'm like, don't worry.
It's not the color,
yeah.
I promise.
And then after they're like, oh my God, when my lips peeled, I was like, hallelujah.
Well, and I also think too, I reflect on like brow trends have changed so much, even since we started putting our eyebrows on. And what year was that? Like 2013, totally. Everyone started penciling them on, maybe a little bit before that. Yeah. And I think because when you get them done permanently, it's like, okay, well, is this going to last with the trend?
Yeah.
But I think a beautiful thing about how you do it is you say, okay, yeah, this is trendy right now, but like, let's also go based off where your eyebrow bone is and what looks natural on your face and the color and all of those things. Whereas some of the brows I see, I'm like, okay, I feel like you're going to regret that. That's permanent. That's scary.
Yeah.
But, you know?
Definitely. And now, like, because I've been doing this for over 11 years now, that I am either correcting or removing a lot of the stuff that was really trendy in 2015, 2016, even 2017. Big, bold, dark. Yeah, which a lot of people still have, or it hasn't faded too. I think that was the other thing is a lot of people, especially with the microblading that was being put too deep into your skin, because that's not fading. That's like trapped in there. It's going to the color's going to be really distorted or faded into a weird color, but it's in there. So you have to either laser it out or just cover it. And if it's too dark and too bold, you got to laser it out or remove it somehow. Obviously there's other things like saline and
what
whatever.
Are you doing mostly? Eyebrows?
Yeah, I would say eyebrows are still number one. I do a lot of lash extensions all the time. That's always going to be something where I've got regular clients all the time. Lips pick up more. Like they're definitely picking up more, but still brows I would say are at least like 10 or 20 to 1 lip client.
Well, and I have to say, I got mine done on my mat leave because I was like, I'm done breastfeeding. I've been saving up my birthday money.
Yeah, yes.
I was like pregnant and everything, because you're not allowed to get them done when you're breastfeeding or if you're pregnant. And I got them done and I was still on mat leave for like 6 months. And then when I went back to work, I was like, oh my God, I just saved like 15 minutes in my getting ready routine of not having to pencil on my eyebrows.
Yeah.
Because I would gel them and I'd have to wait for the gel to dry and I'd be like in the mirror and then I'd pencil and then I'm like, oh my gosh.
And your eyebrows are even. And
Yes.
you actually have eyebrow hair there, so it's really
Yes.
easy for you to do your eyebrows. But imagine somebody who doesn't have any eyebrow
Right.
hair at all, and they really have nothing to go off of. They have to sit there and try and make their eyebrows even and get the right shape that they want for sometimes even like 30 minutes a day or longer.
Well, yeah. And then all day, if you have them penciled on, you're like making sure, did I hit them? Did something,
Yeah.
like, did they come off at
Did it
all?
wipe off? Did I sweat too
Yes.
much? Did I? Yeah.
Yes. And so I was like, this is the best thing I ever invested in.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here like literally every day. I'm like, thank God I don't have to put my eyebrows on
I do
today.
hear that a lot from women. Like, I feel like a lot of them are scared to get it done, or they've just been thinking about it for a while, but they're nervous
Yeah.
to like pull the trigger. And then when they do, they're like, why did I not do this sooner? Like,
Yeah.
all the time.
I feel like I'm almost addicted to it too, where I'm like, maybe I should book in for like my touch up so I can make it a little bigger, a little bit, but it's like, no, relax. I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah.
used to having big eyebrows all the time. Can you explain what areola tattooing is for people who have no idea, and when did you decide to train for that?
When did I decide to train for that? I feel like that was only a couple of years ago that I decided to train for that. Again, I just was, I'm always looking to like diversify my portfolio a little bit, try new things for people. There is a lot of stuff that you can do in the permanent makeup realm. And I was like, maybe I should be doing more than just like brows and lips. I don't do eyeliner. I quit doing it a while ago because I wasn't doing it enough. And then, I don't know, I just didn't
That's
love
fair.
I didn't love doing it. So I was like, I'm trying to think of like why I even really wanted to start getting into areola tattooing. I think I was just like, this could be so beneficial for so many women. And so yeah, it was probably a couple of years ago that I trained it. But anyways, areola tattooing is tattooing an areola and nipple as realistic as possible for somebody who doesn't have one, for whatever the case. If they've had breast cancer and had their breasts reconstructed or not reconstructed, but they want a nipple and areola, or if somebody has gone through like top surgery, either had their breasts removed or just changed or whatever, or if they've had any surgery for any reason, really, that maybe, because stuff can happen during surgery, like tissue can die. So sometimes they'll put the nipple back on, but if they're not able to do that, or even if like I had a client who her nipple was put back on, but some of it had died.
Oh.
So it was kind of like white in certain areas. So we just like, freshened it up and like fixed her areola like on the edge or whatever, stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's unreal. Is that ever emotional for clients when they're getting it done?
So I haven't done that many. Like I've probably only done a handful of them. I would say if it's a fresh situation, like if it's only been 6 months to a year since they completed all of their treatments and their surgery and all of that stuff, it's definitely going to be a little bit more emotional then. But if it's been a really long time and somebody just was like, maybe I should get this done, it's not that emotional for them. But yeah, it definitely can be for
Is
sure.
it really tedious and meticulous compared to the other services you offer?
No, actually, because I'm tattooing with real tattoo ink and I'm going deeper into the skin. I can be a little bit more heavy-handed.
Got you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to just be really heavy-handed right off the hop, especially because there's scar tissue and you have to be careful with like and assess the situation.
Yeah.
But no, I have a little bit more free range to, I don't know, I guess be a little bit, well, it's a bigger tattoo for one, and I'm layering things a little bit more. So the detailing is always going to be a little bit meticulous, but it's less, I would say, than brows.
Which surprises me because I remember you posted them a few times, maybe once or twice. And I'm like, wow, that looks like it would be so meticulous because it looks so real.
Right.
Like the 3D look to it. I'm like, oh my God, that must have taken forever.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. Once you kind of have like a pattern and a plan down of like what you're doing, and once you understand like shading and highlighting, it's not, you just have
You're
to.
saying it like it's just so easy.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not like it's not easy to understand and to execute properly, but once you get it, it's kind of like,
well, it's with anything, right? You get better at it, you get faster.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me a timeline of like how long a brow service would take, or a lip, or an areola, just out of curiosity.
So brows are anywhere from, brows I would say on average 2.5 to 3 hours. Nano brows are like a 2.5 hours time slot. If you're adding shading or doing 3D brows, 3D brows are like the brow version of a 3D areola. So they've got they're meant to look hyper realistic. So they've got like different line weights, sometimes different shades of color, stuff like that. So it's just a lot more detailed. That's going to take longer. I would say 3D brows are like 3.5 hours. Nano brows are 2.5. So it's like an extra hour of detailing stuff out and just making it a little bit different.
Yeah.
Lips are a 4-hour appointment just because
4 hours.
yeah, but the actual tattooing is probably only like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
The reason why I have such a long lip appointment is honestly, sometimes it can take up to an hour to mix the color and the custom shade that someone wants for their lips. So if we didn't do a consultation beforehand and kind of have like an idea of what color we're doing, it can take quite a while because there's so many different mixtures that you can do. And yeah, just like trying different colors like on the person. Whereas brows, I'm always generally just matching it to your eyebrow hair color or maybe going slightly darker, but the person doesn't generally pick their eyebrow color. I do because I know what color it needs to be. Whereas lips, it's more like in their hands. So it's a lot of back and forth with like, do you like this shade? What about if we mix a little bit more pink in or whatever? 4-hour appointment. And then areolas, I would say like it's still a 4-hour appointment for both. So I would say like 2 hours per areola, just because with that too, I'm doing detail. I don't want to be rushed at all. Like it might not take that long, but also you have to do measuring. Like if somebody literally doesn't have anything there, there's a lot of like measuring and stuff and deciding size and all that jazz that needs to happen. But yeah.
Pain level for each of them out of 10. 10's like, this is the most painful thing. I'm having a baby out of my crotch.
Well, I don't know what that feels like, but I would assume that's really high. Eyebrows, I don't know. I mean, you had your eyebrows done. Like,
honestly, it hurt like a 3 out of 10 for maybe 5 minutes because the numbing cream was just setting.
Yes.
On my one eyebrow, I was like, oh, my one eyebrow hurts a little more than the other. You're like, yeah, just give it a minute. Like, it's just kicking in.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Like
a 0?
A 0.
Yeah.
But then my mom's had it done by, I don't remember who, long time ago. And she was like, that was like an 8 out of 10. I'm like, well, they mustn't have put the same stuff that I had because I literally didn't even feel it. But
yeah. Different numbing creams and then also going too deep.
There you go. That was like the microblading time. And okay, so like literally I would say a 0. So would lips be similar because you use the same numbing stuff?
Yeah, and your lips are so much more vascular as well. So they take to numbing stuff really well. However, with lips, it's a lot messier because there's like saliva there. Right. I'm obviously tattooing and I'm shading, so more ink is flowing out. So it's just a lot messier. So there's a lot more wiping, which usually means it's going to get more tender and raw.
Makes sense.
Feeling. And it's just a bigger area than your brows. So I would say lips are probably like a 3 or a 4.
Okay.
I personally, I mean, I did my own. Like there's no way that you can,
insane.
You can't inflict pain on yourself. Like to a certain extent, your brain literally like won't let you. So if it hurt too much, I wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. I get really, really numb. Like as soon as your skin is open and you're using the secondary numbing stuff, it's honestly like so numb that you basically can't feel it. But yeah, the wiping can get a little bit much.
Can you numb for the areola or no? Because it's an actual permanent tattoo.
Yeah, you can. But again, it's like if I just get your skin open. So if I just do a quick little like nipple outline and do a quick little like areola outline or shade, once your skin is open, my numbing cream is going to work in 90 seconds and it's going to work so much better. So oftentimes like I won't pre-numb.
You're like tough it out for a little bit.
If it's a few minutes, it's like 100% you can tough it out.
100%.
And sometimes with people's scar tissue, they actually have less feeling. It goes either way. Scar tissue can be more sensitive or it can be like dead tissue. Not dead, but it's like they don't have a lot of nerve endings there, but it can go either way. But either way, I mean, you can generally handle a few minutes of pain and then it's like basically nothing. So.
Well, and especially I think you appreciate when you don't feel pain after you have. You're like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, it's a little bit sharp. And then you're like, oh, wait, now I can't feel anything. And then people like fall asleep.
Yeah. How often do people need touch-ups for each of those services, would you say?
Well, the areolas are like pretty permanent. However, again, we're doing it like a little bit softer so they don't look like a really harsh nipple. So the shade and especially like the tones that you're using and stuff, you want it to look really natural and like skin, but it is with permanent tattoo ink. So it's going to last a lot longer than everything else. I would say, you know, touch-ups maybe like 5 to 10 years. If you feel like you want one, you can also just like let them fade as well.
Yep.
Eyebrows, you know, I get asked that all the time and I'm like, it really just depends on the person's skin.
Yeah.
Like I give people a range of obviously like 1 to 3 years, but sometimes people go like 5 or 6 years and then they just come back and see me and they still have lots of ink in their skin.
Yeah.
However, I've also changed the way that I do stuff now so that it is going to fade a little bit more and not be harsh after 5 or 6 years. But I would say on average, I see people every like 2.5.
Okay.
2.5.
Yeah.
Like me, for example, I did my own eyebrows 2 years ago and I'm like, they're probably good for at least another year.
Yeah, yours look great.
I do have a lot of eyebrow hair on top of my tattoo, but I still feel like even though they're faded, they still like look good. So it just depends.
I had, when I was the night before I came to you for my nano bleeding, whatever we call it, nano brows.
Nano brows.
I was with 2 girls who had been to you for their eyebrows.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, I went to Leah for mine. I love mine. She did my first appointment, never got a touch up. It's been 5 years and I still love them. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's really good.
Yeah,
But
totally.
their eyebrows were very dark compared to mine. Like
Yeah.
I have like light brown. They were like dark brown. I'm like,
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, yours are pretty blonde.
Yeah. What's a trend right now in permanent makeup that you think is going to die off and people are going to regret?
I would say the one that I see a little bit now that I don't love is ombre lip blush.
What is that?
I can't talk. Ombre lip blush.
Yeah.
So basically what you're doing is doing a darker outline and then shading it into a lighter lip color. So darker on the outside, but you're blending it from darker to light. So like it's basically just, you know, some people obviously outline their lips with lip liner, like with makeup, and then blend it into a different color. So it's kind of having like a two-toned darker on the outside, which I get what they're like, and it's obviously, again, it's personal preference. I get what they're trying to do with it, but I just don't think it's going to age well when it fades as well. And it has to be executed very, very good. Because if it's not, it looks really bad.
I just imagine doing anything ombre would be hard. Nails, lips,
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, it's
hair.
definitely like more of a specialized technique. But just from what I've seen, I personally don't love the look of it. I mean, that's part of the reason why I don't do eyeliner either, is I think that if you do like a really subtle lash enhancement, which is just basically like a black eyeliner line in where your lash line is, that's fine. But, and I mean, again, personal preference. But to every day, all day, every day, have like a thick winged eyeliner on, I just don't love the look of it personally.
Yeah.
So if I'm not passionate about it, why would I do it?
Yep.
And the thing is like lips are a lot more difficult to remove pigment
Good to know.
in the future than it is for eyebrows. Like eyebrows, you can easily just laser out. And even if they go a little bit of a weird color, you can like cover them up and stuff like that. Lip pigment, because a lot of the time lip pigments have more titanium dioxide in them. When you laser that, it can often go black.
Oh.
So your lips go from pink to black or like a dark color. And then you have to target out the dark color. There's a lot of things with laser. So yeah, it's just, I'm like, it's a whole realm that I'm like, I don't know how that's going to go in the future. We'll see.
What's something you refuse to do, even if someone asks? I know you said eyeliner, but is there anything like brow trend that you're like, no, I'm not freaking doing that?
I mean, if somebody was like, you know, had like a funky hair color and they're like, I want green eyebrows, I'd be like, I understand that you want that now, but no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that to you because that would be harder to get out of your skin. And especially I would have to use like a permanent ink. Yeah. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do that to you because you're probably going to not want green eyebrows like in a year.
Do you ever have people come in and they want like very much like perfect lined? Do you know, remember in like 2015 when everyone was doing just like, they wouldn't round out their eyebrows, just perfect.
Very like square in the front. No, generally people come in and they're like, I really don't want it to be blocky in front. And I'm like, yep, got you. That's not what we're going to do.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, no blocky eyebrows anymore.
Do you have to fix? Do you have a lot of people come in that you have to fix?
Fix other people's work?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like most of what I do.
Do you have someone that someone comes in and they're like, I got my, and you're like, I know exactly who did those, and they keep botching, or no?
I used to.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this person is still in business anymore.
Yeah, they must not be if you're not seeing it anymore.
For the first like 5 years of my career. And I mean, I probably wasn't even that great at like fixing stuff then, but it was definitely better than what they had. But yeah, there was definitely one place where they're like, I went to this place, and I'm like, let me guess where you went. And they're like, oh yeah, that is weird. I'm like, I had a feeling, but not so much anymore. It's more so just like, I don't know. It's tough because I'm sure that other artists have maybe, if somebody wasn't happy with my work, like other artists have like fixed my work. It doesn't necessarily mean that their work was bad or that it was wrong, but it just maybe wasn't what that person wanted necessarily.
It doesn't align with their vision.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, again, my appointments are longer than I think a lot of other people's because I really do take the time to actually consult with people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if somebody comes in and they're like, yeah, I had my brows done elsewhere or my lips or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, like, tell me a little bit how that process went. And they're like, I don't know. I just came in, they laid me down and started tattooing my face. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, or people will, while I'm going through my process of what I do with consultation and measuring and this and that, they're like, wow, you're taking so much time to do this. Like, this isn't how my other experience went. And I'm like, that's crazy. I can't imagine not doing this stuff. Like,
I can't even remember how long. I had a consultation first.
Yeah.
And then I came in and we still were chatting. And it was like,
yeah,
you take it very serious because it is something permanent on, and it's on your face.
Yeah, totally.
That's the difference.
And the other thing is, obviously I want you to be really happy with your eyebrows, but if I don't take the time, like I've been doing this for long enough that there was probably a time in my career when I wasn't taking as much time and it isn't good for the client. And then they come back and they're like, hey, actually, and then you end up having to like get people back in and fix more stuff. But if you just do it right and meticulously the first time, then you're setting yourself up for success with future appointments and just not having to deal with so much like backlash of clients maybe being unhappy or whatever.
Well, and I think it's always scary with eyebrows. If you have light hair like me, I was like, Leah, I don't think I want them very dark. Like, I'm nervous about my eyebrows being black and my hair being blonde. Not that it was going to be that. And then what I really liked is that you said, we'll do it what I think we should do for a color. And then when you have your free, what's it called afterwards?
Like the touch up.
Touch up.
Yeah.
If you want it darker, we go darker.
Yeah.
And then that way there's like it's very easy to make it darker. It's very hard to make it lighter.
Yes, exactly.
And so that was great too. Because I was like, okay, yeah, I think I do want them a little bit darker instead of the other way.
Yeah, definitely. I know. And people always are, especially blondes, are like, I don't want them black. And I'm like, I would never tattoo your eyebrows black. Like, why would I do that?
Idiot.
Yeah. I'm like, no black. But a lot of the time that was just people, especially with the microblading when it just started out too. Yeah. And if somebody's not taking the time to even, you know, they just look at your face and they're like, I don't know, let's go for like a medium brown and then just start blasting ink into your face. That did happen a lot to a lot of people. So I'm not surprised that they have that notion in their head, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever feel pressure in your job because you know how important the tattoo is that you're doing on someone's face?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, not quite as much anymore because I'm so used to doing it now. Like, it's just second nature and I know that I'm not gonna screw up. But I mean, it's always nerve-wracking, especially if somebody comes in with like no eyebrow hair, like say they have alopecia and you're not that it's more important than doing your eyebrows. Like, obviously I treat you guys the same, but it's just like, it's just a little bit more of a sensitive situation, especially because that's going to be the one thing that people's eye goes to on their face. So I would not take more care, but I'm probably like a little bit more meticulous, especially because on somebody that has no hair, I'm probably doing 3D brows. So I'm making them extra detailed and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like a little bit of pressure. I mean, it's
Here's a question about symmetry, because as you probably, I'm sure, very much know, like a lot of faces are not symmetrical. And so do you take that into consideration when you're doing someone's eyebrows, or are you literally trying to make two eyebrows as symmetrical as possible?
I do always try and go for symmetry.
Yeah.
I know that everyone's like, they're sisters, not twins.
That's what I was gonna say.
And I'm like, nah, I try and go for twins.
If it's a tattoo, like it might as well be a twin.
I definitely try and go for twins. It's not always going to happen. Like, even if what I've designed and tattooed on you is twins, it's still going to slightly look different based on your either like your bone structure, how your muscles move on your face when you start expressing. Like, I get that a lot. I'll design with your eyebrows relaxed, and then someone opens their eyes and everybody always peeks one side of their face a little bit more, and they're like, well, this doesn't look even. And I'm like, well, the eyebrow itself actually is, but when you move your eyebrow or express your face, they're gonna be different and move differently. They're not always gonna be in the exact, unless you have Botox and your forehead is totally dead of movement.
Right.
They're not always gonna be in that position, but then, you know, you can like do a little bit of designing with their eyes open and tweak things a little bit more. But yeah, I definitely always go for
Well, I also
pretty much
think
perfect symmetry if I can.
too, I think we always say they're sisters, not twins, to justify trying to draw them on.
Yeah, totally.
mean?
That too.
Like-
Or just naturally, people are like, well, they're not supposed to look exact same. And I'm like, well, who said they're not supposed to look? They just don't. The reality of it is they just don't look the same. But if we can make them look the same, we're going to do it.
Yeah. What's the wildest client request you've ever had?
Honestly, not anything super crazy with permanent makeup. Like, I think for that, probably I had a woman who wanted her lips to be like bright fuchsia pink.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, let's do it if that's, because that's just like the color that she wore. She's a very colorful person. And that was like the color that she wore on herself all the time. Because of how tattoo ink is, though, and how it settles in your skin, I know that I can't make her lips look like a bright fuchsia lipstick, because that is just, that's on top of your skin. It's just different.
Yeah.
But, you know, I tried to do it as like fuchsia as I possibly could. Or like lashes, if people want like colored lashes or like sparkly flare lash. I honestly get like 0 requests for that anymore. I used to a little bit here and there, but
Halloween.
yeah. I would say the only other thing that is like not, and it's not a crazy request, is just a lot of people will have a very specific idea of what they want their eyebrow to look like.
Yeah.
And when it's really not a good shape.
Yeah.
But they're like, this is how I do my eyebrows. And I'm like, okay, but I don't want to tattoo that on you because it's not complimenting, because it's hideous.
Really ugly.
Because it's not complimenting your face, or it's like so far off of what their natural brow is doing that I know it's not going to age well. But, you know, generally we can meet in the middle a little bit, but I feel like that's kind of difficult sometimes, because then it's still not exactly what they wanted, and then they might not be super stoked on it.
Did you ever see on social media, and I think this is so true with so many different trends, the brow blindness, they were calling it? Have you heard
I don't know if I saw, I mean, I've seen a few memes. Like there was that one where the girl's eyebrows are like this thick and they're so solid and whatever. And then the comment underneath was like, it was like, Michelle wrote, "Oh my God, I love your eyebrows. They're so nice." And then the meme was like, "Don't ever trust Michelle. She's a liar." And I was like, well, yeah, who would have said that they liked those eyebrows? Like, that's crazy.
Well, okay, so this is, I'll call it like beauty blindness, is you just get used to doing something beauty wise on your face, your hair, whatever.
Yeah.
You just get so used to it that you think you look weird without it, but actually it looks so hideous.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I remember drawing, even before I came to you, how I used to draw on my eyebrows. I'm like, girl, you didn't think those looked thick?
I thought your eyebrows looked good, and they were thick, but like they looked good. I still thought that they like suited
even now,
you.
like they're a lot more natural, which I appreciate, and that's what I wanted. But sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, do my eyebrows look really thin? And I'm like, no, Jordan, you just have brow blindness where you thought those thick, big eyebrows were cute, and I just, you know, you look back at things and you're like, why did I do that? Like I even think, I used to part my hair like at my ear pretty much, you know, and we thought that looked so good.
There's so many things I look back on and I'm like, what were you actually doing?
Like be that time and, you know, space to change trends. But I also think it's like blindness. You just get used to, you do that, you think it looks good, but it actually doesn't.
For sure. And I definitely have a lot of people come in who they're like, okay, this is how I always do my eyebrows. I want your opinion and your expertise though.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I personally would do it like this and tweak this or do that. And then usually we can like find a happy medium at least. Or they're just like, yeah, you're right. This does look so much better on my face, because you are just used to doing one thing with your face and you just might not
you
really
only know what you know.
But also I will say with you, like just how you're like, oh, I feel like my eyebrows were like, I was drawing them on too thick and maybe they're tattooed a little bit thinner, is you have to think about makeup versus permanent makeup, right? Because it's like, we could tattoo them thick, but is that what you want for a long period of time? Makeup is easy. You can just wash it off the next day and you can change the shape, but it's like, you have to be so certain that that's how big you want your eyebrows tattooed. Me, for example, I tattooed my eyebrows bigger, darker, thicker, like a few years ago, and my hair was blonde, like really bleach blonde.
Yeah.
And it was like short, and I was like, wow, my eyebrows are way too thick and dark. And so I lasered them all out and started from scratch because I was like, I was that because obviously I can just do it on myself. I'm like, let's just pick a day and go in the mirror and tattoo my face. And after I was like, oh shoot, I maybe shouldn't have done them, but I thought that that's what I wanted. And then after I was like, ooh, maybe not for every day. And especially while my hair is a certain color or whatever. So then I lasered them out and went more natural.
Well, yeah, and you're right. I often think people like their eyebrows to be bigger and bolder when they have a full face of makeup on. But then when you're chilling at home and you got a ponytail on your head and you got these big, thick eyebrows and you have nothing else on, it looks a little, doesn't match the vibe.
It doesn't always match the vibe. Yeah. But I mean, you can like kind of get a happy medium with that too. If you add the shading to your nano brows, it's going to look like your eyebrows are always like done and make-upped a little bit more than like supernatural. But again, it just depends on the person and what they like.
Yeah. What is one thing women are way too hard on themselves about, do you think, that you see?
Wrinkles. Always, women always are like, they'll sit down there like, oh, just excuse all my wrinkles and like, excuse my skin. I'm like, you literally don't even have wrinkles. Like, yeah, you have lines if you smile or like you move your forehead or whatever. But I'm like, those aren't wrinkles. But yeah, everyone just thinks that their skin is like so wrinkly. I'm like, it's not at all. And even women who are, I see so many women who are between the ages of like 50 and 80. Like so many of my clients are like in their 60s and 70s. And they're so hard on themselves about their wrinkles. And if they do have wrinkles, which obviously you do as you age, like that's just nature. And I'm like, bro, you're 65. You're going to have some wrinkles. Like, and that is normal and natural, and you should not be like embarrassed about them or,
Yeah, I'm like very much embrace the wrinkles. I may change my mind when I get really wrinkly, but I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm 33. I should probably like look 33. I should probably have a couple wrinkles. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It's a part of a life well lived.
Yes.
It's a privilege to live a long time. It's a privilege to age. I don't know.
Yeah,
my sister's like, I need Botox on my forehead. I'm like, you don't even have a single line on your forehead.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Like, to each their own. I'm so for the Botox. I'm so for the filler. But like, also, I'm so for wrinkles. Yeah. I'm so for aging.
Yeah. I feel like there was a time too where I was going like super hard on Botox, and now I chill a little bit. I still like to have my forehead be smooth, but also with Botox too, because I used to have like, I wouldn't say really bad skin, but like not great skin. I do have really big pores, and when I get Botox, it smooths my skin out in general. It's not just for wrinkles. Like it makes my skin a lot more glassy looking.
Actually, I've heard of that.
And
the
just
forehead
like smoother.
glass or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's not always a good thing. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's a little bit too shiny, but it just smooths everything in general. But I do tend to like tone it down a little bit more. There was a time when it was like big brows, all the Botox, huge lips, and it's like it's on its way out. It's out. So now it's like tone it down a little bit, go for more natural.
Wrinkles are hot. Wrinkles are in, girls.
Wrinkles are in.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
Okay, can we go backwards a little bit and talk about, so you talked about you met your partner, Sean, here in Saskatoon, but then you said, you're not getting your poop in a group, I'm going.
Yeah.
And then you came back. So how long have you guys been together, and where did you meet?
We met at Chili's. We both were,
on 8th, right?
No, Chili's at Preston Crossing. It's now Olive Garden.
Ooh, yes. Okay, yeah.
We were both part of the opening team to, like, when that establishment opened. We were both part of the staff that was hired to like open the Chili's there.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird because once we started working together, so we met there, did not like each other at all.
Okay.
And once we started working together and chatting a little bit more, though, we realized like I went to Hardy, he went to Joe's, he hung out with a whole bunch of people that we probably partied together lots and had never like paid attention to each other and had never actually like crossed paths, which is super weird. But yeah, so we met there. We weren't dating though at all. And we weren't like hanging out or doing anything. And yeah. And then it was like I worked there pretty much until I moved to Vancouver. But after a few years, he went off and did something else. And then we kind of like reconnected later on and started talking and hanging out.
Okay.
We've been together now for 11 and a half years.
Holy.
Yeah, it'll be 12 years in October.
Yeah. You guys bought a house how many years ago together? Like you were living together, but when did you buy your place?
So I moved in with him probably in like 2016. And then we bought our house like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 years ago-ish.
M Group house, right?
Yeah.
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 We're M Group.
They helped us along with that.
I know you made the decision that you didn't want to have kids. When did you always know as like a child, I don't want to have kids? Did you ever feel the maternal pull?
I wouldn't say it was a maternal pull.
Yeah, or whatever the hell we call it.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, I grew up watching Gilmore Girls. So
Okay.
when I was like 12 or 10 or however old I was like, I want to have a baby at 17 and she's going to be my best friend. It's going to be a girl and she's going to be my best friend and we're going to be best friends and I'm going to be a cool mom. But by the time I hit high school, I never was really like into kids.
Okay.
Like kids, I was always like, you're annoying, which they can't help it. That's how kids are.
Yeah.
I've also never really been around a lot of kids. Like we don't have a lot of family here. So, and my older sister, like I only have one older sister. She doesn't have kids. I just feel like I wasn't exposed to a lot of like young children. So it didn't really make me want them, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
But when we were in high school, I was in grade 12 in lifestyles class. We watched a birthing video and I actually, and they were talking about it after, and I actually almost fainted in class.
Really?
We were talking about episiotomies, and I was like, I don't know. All of a sudden, something came over me, and I was like, oh my God, this made me feel so sick. And the birthing video was obviously horrendous. And I was like, yeah, I don't ever want to do that. The actual like birthing part of it. And then, so it was just a combination of literally not wanting to give birth and then also being like, you know, I'm not really into children very much. Like I just, they're not my vibe. I can appreciate them. And especially like young children too. I feel like I'm not that person that is like, oh, cute, a baby. I'm like, yeah, it's a human. I don't know.
Congrats on pushing it out.
Yeah. And I mean, like I never would take anything away from
No, for sure.
the difficulties of being a mother and like motherhood or anything like that. But I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Just, yeah. And then you know, when me and Sean early on dating, it was like him too. He was like, oh yeah, I definitely don't want kids. Like I hate kids. And I was like, cool. We're on the same page.
For me.
Yeah.
I find it so cool that you were able to realize that and like stick to it and not fall into like the societal pressure of having kids. Cause I think sometimes it's just, that's what the next step is. And that's what you're supposed to do. And so you just do it. And then I think some people actually look back and go, why did I do that? I don't think I actually wanted to do that. And not that you ever regret your kids, you know, but
but
there's
I mean,
so much pressure.
like people,
I think they do, but
no, I'm really big on, like, I'm not really into a lot of societal expectations. Like even for me and Sean, we're not getting married. We don't want to get married. Like, I'm just like, I don't see a point in getting married for us. I'm like, we're together. What more do we need? Do we really need a piece of paper from the government that's like, you are married? I'm like, we are married. Like, we do the only reason why I would maybe consider that more would be if we were having kids and we wanted like same last name. But a lot of people don't even like change their names and stuff either. So, I don't know. Honestly, it was like, I started going to friends' weddings and like, even I was like the first wedding that I was really at was probably like my sister's wedding. I was her maid of honor. And I was like, this is so stressful. Like this is so much stress and anxiety and so much expectation for like, it's a really fun day. Obviously, like I had fun at everyone's weddings. Yeah. It's not like I didn't, but it's just so much expectation, so much pressure on that day for everything to be so perfect, and it's so much money, and it's just so much. I was just like, this is not for me. I don't want it.
Well, and I think about how many people after they get married, they get asked, so how's marriage? And they're like, it's the same as it was before.
Exactly.
Literally nothing has changed except I have to change my last name on a bunch of paperwork, and it's really annoying.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Apparently it's even more annoying to change it back if you ever get a divorce.
Yeah, it is. I've heard that
from a lot of people.
I've heard that too. Yeah. Do you find it tricky to navigate friendships of people who are in the thick of like motherhood? Do you gravitate to people who also are choosing not to have children?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's really difficult to like line up schedules for sure. Even still now, like lots of my friends have kids that are approaching 5 or whatever, and it's still sometimes difficult just because you're busy. Like, I mean, you know, you're a mom of young children and they're busy. I'm also like more of a night owl. I do things more at night. So half the time, you know, my friends are like, hey, we're doing this thing on a Saturday. And I'm like, oh, cool. What time? Like, I'm like, okay, so like 7 or 8 probably.
3:30.
And they're like, it's at 1. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'll be at work. Just don't count me in on that. But yeah, it's hard to like line up schedules. And I mean, not even just with that. Like, obviously I'm busy too. It's not, I can't just blame it on the people that are parents. Yeah. It's like, everyone's just, you get to an age where everyone's busy and you would, I don't know, I want to say like rather be doing other things, or, you know, you didn't have kids to like not spend your free time with your kids. Right. Like, obviously you're going to step away and do stuff with friends, but a lot of the time it's just family time too.
Well, and when I'm in like the thick of my motherhood stuff right now, I very much gravitate to my friends that don't have kids.
Right. And I think that there's definitely part of that too, because it is easier. Like, my friends are like, oh, let's go to the house with no children that we don't have to worry about. And I'm like, yeah, come on over, because really don't have to worry about it. And you have obviously like more freedom to.
Well, and I think you guys can have a bit more of a social life. You can have a social calendar, or you're more open to have a social calendar. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? I know you're probably doing something.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, at this age, like, I'm not. Yeah. We're not doing anything.
You're chilling.
I'm literally just chilling with Sean and my cats. And
so do you guys have a bunch of like travel lined up? Do you know the term for what you guys are called?
No.
Dinks? Have you heard this?
Dinks?
Yeah.
No.
Double income, no kids.
Oh my God.
You guys are dinks?
I mean, we are.
So what are your dink plans?
What are my dink plans? I love that. So funny.
Seriously.
What are my dink plans? We just got back from Japan, so we did just travel. I mean, definitely like travel is going to be in the future for whenever we can, but jobs and life still gets in the way, and money, obviously. But yeah, I would say like we both really like to just travel and chill. So like that'll be something that we look for in the future. We're not really concerned about, and again, we don't have a family, so it's not like we need to focus on like getting a bigger house or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, we definitely want to travel more. Okay,
so you did Japan. Have you guys done any big trips before that one, or is this kind of the first big?
That was definitely the biggest one. Like, we've been Mexico, Cuba, the States, but that was definitely the biggest one where we were gone for the longest and actually went across the world.
Are you a beach girl?
Yeah, I'm definitely a beach girl. Sean's not so much a beach guy, but I have been to the beach so much. Like, I've been to Mexico so many times, and I love Mexico, but I'm like, and like places like Cuba, I've been to Jamaica, stuff like that. Yeah. Love it. But it does get boring. Yeah. So I was, and we've been to, like, I guess me and him went to New York and Boston one time, and just going and doing stuff in the city. I actually really like doing that. Like, I really like walking around a new city and just like checking stuff out, exploring, going to parks, like, and Japan was the perfect combo of city. And then it's an island. So they've got so much like nature, everything there is so beautiful. So it was a very good combo. If I ever went back to Japan, I would like to go south, where like, like Okinawa and like the southern peninsula of Japan, because it is actually like tropical beach there. Oh. Yeah. I know you wouldn't think that about Japan. No. But like they've got all that snorkeling and beaches and stuff. And yeah.
Do you guys ever get sick of each other when you travel?
Yeah. I mean, Japan was a little bit of a close call.
Yeah. Like, I love Jim so much, but I know that I don't think we could do a week together, just the two of us anymore. Like, we need other social.
Yeah, no, I mean, a week is totally fine. 2 weeks, but also it was very, like, Japan was so go.
So that's different.
That it is different. But no, yeah, I mean, no, I don't know. I feel like we're so good at just, if I'm sick of him and he's sick of me, like, we just separate. Yeah. Like, there was one day probably halfway through our trip where he still was wanting to like go. And I was like, I just need to chill. And my back was so sore and my feet were so sore. And I was like, I'm going to look up a place to get a massage. And he was like, cool, I'm going to go over here and do this thing and go explore and walk around for like 3 hours. And I was like, cool, I'm going to veg out and then I'm going to go get a massage and like, I'll meet back up with you for dinner.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, we're pretty good at like not getting that sick of each other. I don't know. I think we
Jim Lewis doesn't like a beach holiday, and I could just sit on a chair and read a book for 7 days straight and no one talk to me.
Right.
And so we need to go with other people because we would just literally kill each other.
Yeah. And Sean is a huge reader. Like, he can sit and read a book, whereas like I need more stimulation than that.
Oh, well, we should go on a trip together. You can hang out with Jim all
Yeah. I'm like, me and Jim can go off an adventure. I mean, Sean likes to adventure too, but he's really... I mean, he's Irish and Scottish, so he's pale AF. And
he's got to be in the shade.
He's not trying to just like, I mean, he will sit on the beach, but he's really not trying to like soak up sun. Whereas I'm like, give me that vitamin D and the water. Like I love to be in the water and yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about your living quarters.
The living quarters?
I'm like, how do I?
You mean the master bedroom and the servants' quarters, as Sean likes to call it?
Sure. I don't know. Explain it. I'm like, how do I segue into this?
Segue into our living situation.
Yeah, tell me how it works and why it is the way it is.
I mean, I think it's so funny that people are always so shocked by our living situation.
Okay, you're really like,
but I'm like, it's not that shocking that we have separate bedrooms.
Yeah.
So they are fully technically separate. We've just always done that. So since I moved in with him, he snores like a freight train. I am a very, very light sleeper. I sleep with a fan on and rain noises every single night because I'm just like a pin drop will wake me up.
Okay.
So sleeping beside somebody who is sawing logs, snoring is not conducive to my life. Okay. And it's just, I would literally never sleep and we would not honestly be together because I would go insane.
Servant quarters.
So,
I can't get over
so I would say it's funny because he dubbed it that. It wasn't me. I would say like after a few months of living together and he had like a house with 3 bedrooms in it. And I was like, every night I was like, oh, you're snoring too loud. So then I would just always go into a different room, always go into a different room, always go into a different room. That I was just like, I should just have a different room to sleep in. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we do. Like I mean, in our new house, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take the master bedroom. It's not even like it's it's not even like a bit. It's not like we have an ensuite or anything. So it's not like I've got like a huge bedroom, but it's like a little bit bigger, way more closet space. Cause I need obviously way more closet space. And then he has the bedroom across the hall that he sleeps in.
Okay.
So we sleep separately, but we hang out until literally he falls asleep in my bed. Like we watch TV in
get
bed.
Up and get out of here.
Yeah, literally. Or like he'll be like, okay, I'm passing out. I'm just going to go to my bed and sleep. But it's like, you know, we still have intimate time and cuddling and like watching TV and whatever before bed. And
do you ever go in the servant quarters or is it strictly in the master bedroom that you
No, because he doesn't have a TV in his room. Okay. Yeah. And his situation, like obviously my bed is nicer. Literally, like get back in your...
Get out of here. I heard you snore.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I think that a lot of people think that it's going to be like we would be less intimate, I guess.
No,
and I don't mean like sexually necessarily. I just mean cuddling or whatever.
Pillow talk, whatever.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, we literally do that every single night. It's just literally when we're actually sleeping, we get sleep.
Yeah. So what about when you go on a trip? Do you guys get 2 rooms or do you just tough it out for the trip?
No, I unfortunately have to tough it out. Yeah. I sleep with headphones literally blaring rain noises into my ear.
It sounds like Sean needs to get tested for sleep apnea.
Yeah, he probably has it for sure. Yeah. I mean, he's like broken his nose in hockey and stuff before too. He probably has sleep apnea. It's pretty aggressive snoring. Ask any of my friends who have like been on a trip and he's in the same house. Like it's pretty insane. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, and I mean, it's also, there's no rhyme or reason to it either. Yeah. I used to try and figure it out. I'd be like, oh, is it from you drinking? Is it when you're really tired? Is it, I don't know, the temperature in the room, like this or that? But it's not all the time. Sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he'll snore so bad and so loudly. And then other times it's not at all.
So yeah, there is no rhyme or reason to his.
No. So like when we were in Japan, I mean, yeah, it usually starts out when he's falling asleep. It's worse. And then it probably trails off throughout the night. Like it gets to be not as bad.
Gotcha.
So sometimes I'm like, ooh, is he snoring? Oh, I can take my headphones out for a bit. And then I'll start back up and I'm like, headphones back in. You know? So yeah, I don't sleep amazingly when we're on trips, but we make it through.
But I also think that's so amazing that you guys figured out what a key component of like a successful relationship looks like. And you're like, we need to get our sleep in order to like appreciate and love each other. And
we're both not sleep cuddlers. Like some of my friends are like that. I'm like, do not touch me. And I need the whole bed. I'm also such a flip-floppy, like, I'm not a great sleeper, so I'm like a really light sleeper, and then I'm generally moving around so much that I just need people like not in my space.
Well, and I think,
and it would annoy him too.
In books and in movies and in society, it was like, oh, you know, they sleep in separate beds.
Right? Yeah, totally.
And that was like such a telltale sign that it was like they're on the brink of.
Yeah.
But so it's
and I'm like, no,
that.
it's the opposite. That's literally how we stay together.
I didn't know that was why it was. I had no idea why it was. I couldn't remember. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm like, no. I don't know. Yeah.
Sean, go get tested for sleep apnea.
Yeah, he definitely should. I'm sure that there's something funky going on.
Oh, yeah. Tell us what you listen to before we leave.
I mean, any clients who know me
know
that
she's a podcast girl.
I force them to listen to, well, no, I will always check in and make sure that they're like okay to listen to it. So my top podcast, I do love murder podcasts. Love me some murder, you know.
Yeah,
just love
you do.
Murder. Morbid is probably my number one.
Is that the one we listened to with the girls
The girls from Boston?
Yeah.
Either that or Red Handed, which is some girls from London that I listened to, or from England. Sorry, I don't know.
They didn't have
okay. So probably Morbid. They have Morbid as their murder podcast, and then I also listened to their Rewatcher podcast, which they were covering Buffy the Vampire Slayer forever, and then now they're doing True Blood. So
fun.
I started watching True Blood because I hadn't seen it before. So I don't know. I just love their banter. They're just like really funny and whatever. So those ones. Red Handed is another murder podcast I listen to. Also listen to Crime Junkie, and then one that is not a murder podcast that I love. That kind of reminds me of yours, but it's just like having really good conversations with people and talking about everything under the sun is called Armchair Expert. Love that one.
That's a good one.
It's a lighter one that I, you know, if I know somebody doesn't want to listen to something gruesome, I'm like, let's throw on some Armchair Expert. And it's obviously, it's like famous people, whether they're like actors or whatever, not a lot of politicians, but some in there and stuff like that. Yeah. Just like a wide variety of people. It's just like really light and fun and real conversations with people, which I think is always really interesting because it's like, obviously you have an image of Brad Pitt, but when you get to actually just like listen to him every day talk and see like how he actually is as a person, it's just really cool. I don't know.
Did you ever listen to Call Her Daddy in the beginning?
Okay, I didn't. I honestly think that I've maybe listened to like one of her episodes. I don't know why. I think that her podcast is probably really good and I know everybody loves it. I don't know why I haven't gone onto it yet.
Well, I loved it in the beginning and then they broke up because they had this like crazy whatever.
Oh, is it not just one girl?
It was two to start and really good banter, really funny. Like I would laugh out loud when I was listening to it. And then they had a falling out over money because their contract was being renegotiated.
Oh, yikes.
And the blonde girl who is it now took like it Alex over. But so it's kind of a joke in the like celebrity community of like the Call Her Daddy press stop because she doesn't really ask any like hard hitting questions. It's like you just kind of go there to be like, yeah, here I am. I'm on a podcast. See? Whereas Armchair Expert, they say if someone is willing to be actually open and have deep conversation, they go on Armchair Expert.
Oh, I totally thought the Call Her Daddy was supposed to be her having like really real like conversations with people.
They try to make it look like that, but no, it's not. But yeah, that's why I was curious if you listened to it.
No,
like
I honestly never really have. I think there was one that I was like, oh, I would really love to like listen to that one. I think it was like the Charlize Theron one, and then I was like, I don't know, I just didn't listen to it.
No.
I'm just always like, back on my murder. Let's listen to that.
I used to love it, and then I had kids, and I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I do. As I get older, I get a little bit more sensitive to definitely the children ones.
Yeah.
Or there's like certain documentaries where I'm like, ooh, that's really
like,
tough
we just
watch.
need light and happy and positive in this space.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It definitely like gets you down when you start listening to it constantly. You're like, okay, how many more of these can I listen to before I start going insane?
I need something happy now.
Yeah,
it's like after you watch a horror movie or a sad movie, you have to watch
throw
like,
a comedy on.
Happy.
Throw a comedy on always. Thing. Or like throw in a cartoon. I'm like, hey, something really crazy.
Just lighten the mood here a bit. It's seeming a little down. Okay, so talk to me, social media. What can we plug for you? You were a sponsor of a previous episode, but plug your stuff so that people can find you if they want to come get some stuff done.
Well, I would say if you're really looking to actually like look at my portfolio and see my work, Instagram is always going to be the best thing for that, which is at lashious_studio. Lashious is LASHIOUS because people are always like, what is it? Lashious or like lashes? Because when I say it fast, it just sounds like Lashes Studio, but it's Lashious Studio.
Yeah.
A play on luscious, but for lashes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Repping the merch.
Yeah,
actually.
love it.
Not that I have merch. I know it's too on the nose.
I know, I like it.
I'm like, hi, I'm here for the Lashes Studio interview.
No, I love it.
Yeah, but Instagram, I would say you can see my stuff all feeds through to Facebook, which is, I think, just Lashious Studio, one word on Facebook. Website, www.lashiousstudio.com, all one word.
I'll link it all, but
Yeah, that's booking link and stuff is on the website. I also have like descriptions and pricing of everything on there.
Yep. And how far in advance are you booking out? Like, can people get in pretty quickly to you, or what does that look like if they're
It depends on the time of year. Generally, I'm booking at least a couple weeks out. Like right now, I think I'm booking until like the second or third week of June, especially if for like a larger appointment. Obviously, it's harder to get in if you want a lip appointment. 4 hours is a harder spot to come by. So that you're probably looking like a month maybe to wait, but usually just like a couple weeks or so, unless it's like a super, super busy time of year.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for coming on the pod.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. My first podcast.
I love it. It was light and fluffy, and I needed that. Thanks for having your morning coffee or your evening wine with us. Catch you on the next one. Love ya. Bye.